Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So let's continue. As I mentioned in my previous video, for this part, let's just continue exploring QuranTree.jl. Although at a high level, we are doing this at a high level. And then we're just going to maybe go into the details once we discuss Julia programming languages as a whole, I would say, so that once we explore this again, we will have a good understanding of how to write Julia codes already, right? But for now, let's just explore more at a high level as to what else can we get out of these libraries at least, right? So I mentioned earlier we have here two types of data sets. One is Quranic Arabic corpus, which actually encodes the morphological features of the Quran. So, for example, we have here the first chapter, and then we have here the first verse, and then the first word, and then we have the first part, and then we have here the form, right? In this case, B, which is actually the first syllable of the first word of the Basmala, which is Bismillah. So in this case, B, that's the B, and then we have here the parts of the speech tag. In this case, I guess this is preposition. And we can actually get details of this one, right? And then we have the features here. So as you can see, this is not actually written in Arabic, but it's actually written in Bach-Walter form. So, but just to show you as to how we can convert this to Arabic, for example, right? So here we have the corpus table, and then for the Tanzil table, this is based from the tanzil.net, and here as you can see, it only encodes the chapter number or the surah number, and then the ayah number, and then the text itself, the Arabic text itself, right? Here, it's encoding a lot actually, not only the form, but also the word and the part, and also the features, and also the parts of the speech. So let's explore more on what else can we get from this corpus data of the Arabic Quran, right? Or the Quran. So if you want to access the first chapter again of from this data, CRP underscore table, we can actually do the same thing like what we did here below, right? So we've accessed the first chapter, the 112th surah, and then the second verse of the 112th surah. So here, let's do that again. Say for 100, say for the first surah, Surah Al-Fatiha. So I can just index it like this way. So, and then as you can see, I can now access the morphological features of the uh, Surah Al-Fatiha, right? And then if I want to extract the first verse, so I can just again enter here another open and close bracket with one inside it to refer to the first verse. So if I run that, as you can see, now we are actually looking at the first verse, right? Surah Al-Fatiha, right? And in fact, if I want to extract the verses of this one, I can just type in verses, and it will actually give me the first verse. So this is the first verse, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, right? Now, as you can see here, it's not actually written in Arabic, but we want to have it in Arabic, right? So if you want to have that in Arabic, there's one more library that we need to add here. It's actually called Unir. Let's see if it'll actually load. We have not installed this, but let me just try and run it. Okay, so it's actually giving us an error, so that we need to add the Unir as well. So I'm going to add it here. So if I run this, there we go. Let's see. It will of course skip QuranTree.jl because we've installed it already, and so it will only install Unir.jl. So let's see. Now, as I mentioned earlier, at the moment we don't have internet connection. I'll be honest with you. It's actually being we've just set up a new connection, so I'm actually using my data. So what you see here, like for example, why is it taking so long? It's not actually because Julia is not fast. It's simply because of my connection. Okay, there you go. We've installed it already, and so if I run this, okay, so there's no error anymore. And so if I go back here, and okay, I've extracted this. Now I want to convert this to Arabic. So how to do that? One of the functionalities that is being provided by Unir, this one is, I'd say, if I can add a comment here, I'd say this one for accessing the Quran, and if I can add also a comment here, I would say this one is for uh, working with Arabic text. So that one. So for Unir, we have a function called Arabic. So we cannot actually use this function if we did not load Unir. So to extract this, so all I can do is I can assign this to, say, first verse. Okay, so if I assign that into that variable first verse, now don't be worried if you don't understand what I'm doing here. Like for example, you can just follow, and we'll discuss what do I mean by variable in my next video, right? That's the time when we look into formally into how to write Julia programming language, or the core functionalities or the syntax of Julia itself, right? But for now, just follow me. So now if I assign this to a first verse variable, so as you can see here, it's not in Arabic. So if I want it to be in Arabic, I can just uh, use the Arabic function from Unir. So this will not actually, this will throw an error if we did not install Unir, simply because the Arabic function here is actually taken from Unir. So if I run this, okay, so it's actually giving me an error. So let's see, Arabic, this function exists but no method for comment. Okay. So by the way, this output is actually an array, and Arabic function only accept text. Now maybe you're confused what do I mean by array, and you don't understand uh, what do I mean by um, text only. So if I say first verse, this is the output of this one, which is an array. So if I want to make it into just, I just want to extract this. So I'm going to discuss an array in the future, right? But for now, as you can see, this is what we want. We don't want to have it like this one, that where we have a vector saying vector string. That's actually one type of data, but we just want to have like the value itself. Okay, so that's what we are going to feed here. We just have to add one, and if I run this, there you go. I have the Arabic form of it already. So that's one of the functionality that we can also do using QuranTree and the Unir.jl. Unir.jl is again for working with Arabic text. This is also a library that I've created. And yeah, and then what else? We can also describe, maybe for now, okay, let's see, one last thing. For morphological features, how can we extract this part, right? um, I guess we're not going to discuss it. I think it will take time if I'm going to discuss this part. So but for now, maybe let's just have it uh, at this point, and we can just maybe end uh, at this part, and then in my next video we're going to discuss formally the Julia programming language and try to learn how to write Julia codes, and then maybe once we are done with that piece, we can then go back to uh, QuranTree.jl and Unir and apply what we've learned in writing Julia codes to take advantage, or at least to process the Quran text that we are dealing in QuranTree.jl and Unir. Um, library here, right? Or in this notebook. So there you go. If you, and by the way, if you have not subscribed yet, I mean, this is my first series of tutorial. So I do appreciate if you subscribe and hit that like button. So I guess that's it. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.